What up, what up? Peace, peace, peace. Yeah. This is like, I think, part 3 of my manifesting set of videos. So, this will be another addition to it. And so, for this one, we'll be, talking about the deserving attitude and being convinced that you have this, that you have what you desire already. This is about the deserving attitude and how you should be convinced that you got this, that you already have it, or it's already on its way, and it's already like a seal. It's already like a It's already like a sealed kind of deal. Like you already got this coming your way. And also how you can also cover or I want to say like you don't like. Also I want to add to the addition of the title of the video about how don't identify or don't get so don't get so like, don't dwell in your triggers, or I should say like, don't identify with your triggers so much. So like, I don't know why I find like the SP thing to be really easy to like talk about when it comes to manifesting. And again, this can go for anything. So it's just ultimately knowing that you already have what you desire, like the deserving attitude. And what I mean by deserving attitude is just being convinced that you have it, and also with the deserving attitude, what you pretty much need to be able to cultivate is like you have this shit already. This is already something on its way. It's already in your heart. It's already in your kingdom of heaven, which is your heart. It's already there. It's already in another world, in another vortex. It already happened. The fact that you can have a desire for it means that it's already happened somewhere. Because we always think that, like with manifesting, we have like, it's like we have limitations. Like we feel like the desire for something is it only goes as far as how we can think. Like we never really think past it. We don't think, well, okay, it's in my heart, it's just a desire, this is as far as it gets. I'm just daydreaming, I'm just pipe dreaming. But that's not the case. Like I said before, just the fact that you have an interest in something or in someone, when it comes to, let's just say, love, romance, and having a crush on someone, having feelings for them, that already tells you that, like, it's already on its way, or it's in your heart because you can feel it. So it's already something that can happen and can already come on its way because you can already feel it. Because when you feel a desire in your heart, it feels good, doesn't it? And the reason that there's a sensational feeling of goodness with it is because in your heart space, it's already happened. This desire has already been achieved. That's why you're like happy, because it's already achieved and it's already accomplished. But it's just sometimes our mind is what kind of fogs it up. And so with that being said, the deserving attitude is what you need to have to manifest whatever it is you desire, and also knowing that you already have it. So with your SP, you should have a deserving attitude, because the deserving attitude, and what I mean by that is just what does it mean to deserve something? Just look it up. What does deserve mean? Like, you've earned it. You've already you've earned that title or that right to have this thing, or you've earned the right to have this relationship. It's just deserving. The attitude of deserving is just a knowing of, like, why couldn't I have this thing, or why couldn't I have this relationship or be with this person? What's wrong with me? What is it about me that I couldn't have this shit? Like, I know my worth, I know my value, and I absolutely fucking deserve this because I'm a valuable person and I got this. So that's your deserving attitude. It's just an inner knowing that, like, and it's not in so many words that I have to break it down. It's just an attitude. Hence the words, the deserving attitude. It's just a mindset and an energy that you carry with you. Like, why couldn't I or shouldn't I have this relationship or have this thing or be with this person? Well, I'm worthy. I'm worthy and I know it. And that's something you should know, because at one point when you, especially in your younger years, or when you're more naive and you're so new to life and you're like a teenager and you don't really know who you are yet, you don't know where you are in the world, but you still have feelings for people, you still feel attraction, you still feel love and all that stuff. So it happens, right? And so sometimes when you don't know your true values, you tend to not have that deserving attitude. You don't carry that energy because you got a crush on this person in school. Big deal. Okay, that's it. That's as far as it goes, is the desire, right? Which is important, like I just said. But nothing is going to happen after that because you don't know your worth, you don't know your value, you don't know who you are, you're not whole. So it's like you're kind of empty. There's nothing that you can give in return to this person for you to have this relationship. Because with relationships, it's a two-way street. So it's not like you can just like this person and you can't give anything in return. You have to be able to put something on the table as well. So in essence, when you like someone and you have a lack of knowledge of self, that relationship isn't going to go very far, and it won't push out, or it won't last that long, because you don't even really, it's like that cliche saying of like, you don't even love yourself, so how can you love somebody else, right? You don't even know your own worth and value, so how can you love someone else and see their worth and value when you don't even see it for yourself first? Like, you don't even love yourself first. Because I could have also titled this video, just love yourself, or love yourself before you can love someone else, but I don't want to go off topic with that. We're sticking with the original title, which is the deserving attitude and being convinced that you got this. Because when you think of, let's just say your SP, when you think of your SP and you work on yourself over time, you start to like develop like a sense of, you develop your own sense of value and your worth, right? And so when your SP is not conforming, or they're not acting or showing you the things, or they're not showing you a certain level of respect or attention, or like they're just not appearing as you'd like or expect, you get upset. And you have every right to get upset to a certain point, because you can think of that emotion of being upset as, hey, wait a minute, why are you acting like this? Why are you acting so shady? Why are you acting so fucked up? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting so cold? Like, don't you see me? I'm right here talking to you. That very attitude of kind of like that slightly demanding-ish kind of attitude that you have, that's a good thing, because in essence, you're now seeing your value. So you're not going to put up with crap. You're not going to put up with a lack of self, or you're no longer going to like put up with a lack of respect or a certain shitty attitude about your SP or anyone in general, because now you're seeing your value. You're not like a pushover anymore. You're not just someone that people can walk all over like a carpet, like a floor mat. You're now developing your sense of self-worth and value. So again, specifically about the SP, when your SP comes around, you're no longer just gonna let them step all over you or ignore you like that. You're gonna have a certain kind of attitude, like, yo, I said good morning and you didn't even say hi. You're not gonna necessarily like pick a fight with them or have an attitude of like trying to being fussy or fighting or arguing and bickering and all that crap. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're at a point now where you can see your sense of worth and value, to where when your SP's acting up, you kind of have an attitude where you're picking this bullshit up, like, hey, yo, what's going on? What's the problem? Like, are you okay? Are you upset? Did I say something? What's up? Can I talk to you for a minute? Are you alright? How you doing? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Did I say something or do something to upset you? What's happening here? So in a way, that's a good thing, because now you're that, again, that emotion or that attitude of being irritated or upset is pretty much lining up or matching up with your sense of value now. Like, hey, you know what? I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve this thing or this relationship, or I just in general, I deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, and so I don't take any less from anybody. So take that irritation as a sign that you are moving up. You're actually you're evolving, right? But there's a difference with that and just being mad and angry all the time. That's not good. So the thing that I also wanted to add was the triggers, right? You don't want to like identify with your triggers, because sometimes we have that. Triggers are subconscious. Just like that video I made about recognizing the patterns or habits or the patterns that reflect your subconscious, because whether you realize it or not, you're still going to have certain triggers from the past, and you don't have to beat yourself up about it all the time, because everything's a process, so it's all good. It's just, think of the triggers as little little flashbacks and little things popping up here and there in your emotions or in your mind about the past. But you don't have to identify with them. Just when you see something or feel something in your mind that irritates you, that about something or someone that's treating you a certain way, that kind of reflects the past of how this person used to treat you, or this individual used to treat you, and it reminded you of how you used to react. You don't have to identify with it. And it is an irritating feeling, but just give yourself a moment, walk away, get silent, get your mind quiet, just take a breather and just kind of think it through a little bit. Like, observe it and acknowledge it, but you don't have to identify with it. Like, triggers are just little hits from the past that kind of trigger certain past emotions, but you don't need to like identify with those, because you're in the now. That's why it's often said with meditation and spirituality, it's all about being in the now, because no matter what happened in the past, no matter what memories or flashbacks you may have about the past, in the end, none of that stuff really matters, because what matters is just the now. You have the chance to make things better, or to just make things right with the now. Excuse me. So you don't need to trip off triggers and stuff. But as far as the deserving attitude, yes, you have to have a deserving attitude of knowing your self-worth and value, and knowing that there's nothing that you don't deserve. It's all up here, right? So with your SP, yeah, you should just have a deserving attitude, like knowing your self-worth and value, and knowing pretty much like, why couldn't I be with this person? Why couldn't I have this relationship? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm a human. We're in humanity. We're flawed. But fuck it. Like, hey, I'll work hard. I do the self-work. I do the shadow work. I absolutely have all the love and glory for myself. I deserve great things in life, and that's going to be my attitude. So there's no way that I couldn't have this relationship or be with this person. Because, I mean, think of it like this. When someone who has no self-worth or value, right, they tend to be walked all over or stepped on or be a pushover to the person they like. Say, even if they were able to manifest a relationship, they're pretty much like the bitch in the relationship, because they don't even know their worth or value. So all they want to do is just be with that person. So what they don't even realize is this person isn't even giving them any kind of respect or loyalty or any kind of dignity. They're just being taken advantage of and being used. And you being the person, not anyone personally, but you as someone who doesn't have any self-respect or self-worth or value, you just kind of go along with it. You're like the bitch in the relationship because you really don't love yourself. You don't have that self-worth. So in this relationship, like, oh, you're so happy because you actually managed to get with them. They agreed somehow for some reason to go to be with you, regardless of your lack of self-love. You're gonna be it's an empty, well, it's gonna be an unhappy, imbalanced, and in a really fucked up relationship because you're just gonna be the bitch. But as far as that is concerned, focus on yourself and just work on yourself, because the deserving attitude is just, like I said, I've said it so many times already, is just knowing your self-worth and self-value, to know that you can have anything and be with anyone you want to be with and be with your SP. And the attitude you're carrying with you is just like, why couldn't I be with this person? There's no way I couldn't be. If anything, they may have to do some work before they get with me. Like, that's good. That's a good attitude to have, because you're evolving and now you're seeing your value and you're loving it. You're loving the authenticity of yourself. And so you will even question when they treat you a certain way, like I just said, right? Because you're not going to put up with anything less. Because now, like I said, like now your sense of value and worth about yourself is matching up or getting in alignment with your real authentic self, with your self-value and your deserving attitude. And yes, you should absolutely be convinced that you have this, because you'll see signs from the universe or the subconscious or whatever you want to call it, or God, that things are coming in the direction that you wish. So, and it's an inner knowing that things are playing out in your favor. So that's good. You may have challenges here and there where you're told it's not going to happen, just give it up. But eventually those things don't bother you, because you know that this person you want to be with is the person you're meant to be with. Hence why, again, God, universe, subconscious, whatever it is paving the way for you to be able to be with that person. This is all just about an attitude that you have to carry. You don't have to be cocky about it. But even being cocky, like, what is that? What does it even mean to be cocky? Just because I love myself, I see my self-worth and value, and I'm not afraid to show it off, means I'm cocky? Well, then screw you. Like, who are you anyway? This is my life and this is my journey. I run my reality. I'm the god of my reality. Why do I need to listen to you? I don't need your judgment. Work on yourself. And that's pretty much, just about it that I wanted to cover with this video, just real quick, is the deserving attitude and being convinced that you got this. And the triggers too. Like, don't identify with the triggers, because sometimes the triggers are just so temporary. Like, someone might treat you a certain way in the moment, just like in the past. So you're identifying with it, and sometimes we overthink things and we become too hard on ourselves and start beating ourselves up about it. But in reality, just take yourself out, give yourself a moment, take a breather, just clear your mind and know that it was just only in the moment, and you'll realize that trigger was just some bullshit, and things are just going to turn around real quick. Because sometimes, because like I said, feeling is a secret, right? So the things that you feel in your mind, or the things that you feel within yourself, if you keep identifying with it in your mind, that little thought will just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes big enough to where it becomes dense and heavy, and it becomes like an anchor, and it like weighs you down. And so that's why, to begin with, don't even feed thought forms or thought patterns or triggers that don't serve you. Just let them pass. Observe them, acknowledge it, question why, or challenge it, like, okay, why am I having this thought, or whatever? Why am I feeling this way? And then just let that shit go, because it'll come to pass anyway. So that's about it. The deserving attitude. there was something else that I wanted to say, but I forgot what it was. I'm trying to like think it out and really figure it out. Like, what the hell did I want to say? Let me just give me a moment. So, let me see if I can like jog my memory. With the attitude of being deserving, you pretty much just want to cultivate that worth and value within yourself to know that there's nothing or nobody you can't be with or have, or there's nothing you can't have, nobody that you can or can't be with, because it's just a knowing that you deserve whatever it is you desire. Because a lot of times with people who, like I said, have a lack of self-esteem, people who lack self-worth or value, who don't love themselves, who have absolute low self-esteem, who have no self-love at all for even their own goddamn self, they will never be respected by anybody, especially an SP, because the universe and the people around you, the whole EIYPO, everyone is you pushed out kind of thing, kind of concept is pretty much everyone is just reflecting you, your attitude, and what you feel inside. And in many ways, it's like, I used to think about the whole everyone is you pushed out kind of thing as like, it was almost kind of like a pointing fingers kind of thing at you. Like, it was almost like a kind of concept where it was pointing fingers at you, like, well, if people treat you this way, and people act like this, and people talk to you like this, and people do this, and people reflect this, everything's a reflection of your attitude, and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, in other words, when things just don't go your direction, or things just don't play out in your favor, and things just don't go your way, it's almost like these everyone is you pushed out concept pushing people are always telling you like, well, it's your fault. Like, you're not working on yourself. It's your fault. Like, it's almost as if like it's always your fault, and that's pretty harsh. Like, it can't be all my fault, because ultimately shadow work and inner work, it's all within you, yes, but that doesn't mean that you have to take the blame for everything. Like, it's not your fault that you have certain triggers. It's not your fault that you've had a negative past. You've had trauma. We all go through things. We're human. We're in a human experience. Humanity's fucked up. We're all here to grow and learn and evolve. So it's all good. You don't have to be hard on yourself like that. Like, don't beat yourself up about over things like that. But all I'm saying is, in my opinion about everyone is you pushed out, that concept is sometimes it almost feels like you're always taking the blame for things. Like, everything is just it's all within you. People are treating you or acting like this, behaving like this, talking to you like this, ignoring you. This is happening, that's happening. All these negative things are happening to you, and it's all you. Like, that's not totally true. Sometimes people are just pricks, and there's nothing you can do about that. It had nothing to do with you. Like, if you're minding your own business in the city, driving around, going somewhere, and there's just some drunk on the side of the road, who's just cursing and yelling and screaming, is that your fault? Well, it's you. Everyone is you pushed out, so that motherfucker is just making trouble and making a mess, making a fuss because of you. Like, are you really gonna take the blame for that? Like, no. How about the fact that people are just fucked up no matter what? So, again, the deserving attitude is just something that you have to carry for yourself, based on your self-love, worth, and value. People who don't have that cultivated within them will always attract people who will just use and abuse them, because they don't even know their self-worth. So they don't have any ability to stand up for themselves. And as far as like a certain attitude of being irritated or annoyed when your SP is acting up, or they're not showing up in how you expected or perceive or feel like you were expecting in any kind of, like if your SP is just not showing up the way you expected based on your attitude about yourself already, like that's not your fault either. Like just be patient. Things can and will still change. Because again, if they're all if people are just reflecting you, if everyone outside of you is just a reflection of you, then you can for sure guarantee that things and people can and will change, because the only person that can change is you, and only you can change your inner world. So don't even worry about it. Things are always ever changing in this matrix. Things are constantly ever changing, so it's nothing you have to worry about. But yeah, as far as your attitude, yeah, just have that deserving attitude that you got this, and be convinced you have it. Like there's no debate or question about it. Like you got this already. It's already on its way. Claim it as yours. You know, claim that as yours, and you got it. It's already in the grasp of your hand. Just have an attitude of self-love and know your value, you know. It's nothing that hard. It's just a matter of inner work. And you also got to put yourself first too, you know. Put your desires and interests and your health and well-being first before anybody. Absolutely before anybody. Put your goddamn self first. That's what makes you like attractive and vibrant and radiant. Because even your SP will know, hey, listen, I like you. They'll know from you, like, look, I like you and everything, but I'm putting myself first. That's another attitude you can cultivate with your SP, is pretty much like, listen, I like you, I really like you. I'd love to go out with you and go on a date with you. I'd love to one day maybe have a relationship with you and be with you, but I'm not desperate for you. Like I'm not desperate for you. I'm not putting you first before myself in that kind of way. Especially right now that we're not together. I like you and everything, and I'm interested to one day go out with you, but look, I put myself first. And if you can't accept that, then best be gone. That's it, you know. I'm not desperate for you. I'm not crazy for you. I'm not bawling my eyes out for you when you don't text me back. And don't think of me in any kind of way like that. You can't just use me or take advantage of me in any kind of way. I'm just somebody that's seen you, that happens to have come across you in my life, and I think you're really cool, you're really fly, you're really interesting. I'd like to have a chance to see you and go out with you, but you gotta meet me halfway too. You know, have a deserving attitude. That's like a little player tip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm joking. But yeah, you know, you have to have your self-worth and value first. And just know that, you know, this is already in your favor. It's already in your grasp. Be convinced you already have it. Because when you cultivate your sense of worth and value, you're not going to put up with anything less. And that's what's ultimately really important, is just having that love for yourself to where you're not just going to put up with mediocre things. You know, you don't want to ever be desperate, because you know, that's something that we all should know, is being too desperate to be with someone or to have something it's not a good attitude. It's showing a lack of abundance, and it's just good to have that attitude of deserving, because it's showing abundance. Like, I deserve to have this, but I'm not so attached, so if this doesn't push out, I'm not tripping. Because another thing too is, you know, pretty much, and I might make a video about this later on, perhaps. I'm not sure. I might. Is that you also have to, or maybe this is just something that I'll just add to the side. I don't think this is going to be worth having a whole video about, but You know, what you also have to think about when it comes to manifesting your SP is just you kind of have to be or not be prepared, but you have to accept that possibility that this may never happen. You may never be with them. It may never push out, and you have to learn to be okay with that. Because I just kind of I found it that when it comes to your SP or anything that you desire with manifesting, I've learned that when you learn to actually detach from it and not be so obsessed with it or dwell your thoughts in it, it comes around a lot faster. When you rather than when you're coming from a place of like being desperate, I've noticed that when you're when you're not so attached to the idea of having this thing or being with this person, this stuff or that person comes around a lot faster. It's more it comes through a lot more smoothly. It'll push out more. It'll work out in your favor better. So all I'm saying is, no, I'm not discouraging you from your desires or your SP. All I'm saying is there's always that part of you that you should consider this may never even happen. Right? And you got to be okay with that. And once you learn to be okay with that, your manifestations will come a lot faster and you'll be feeling pretty much a lot happier. This is not like a guarantee. This is not any guarantee kind of lecture or anything or advice. Well, it is an advice, but I'm saying this is just an advice regarded to being kind of detached. Just let things play out and they will, you know. But you got to be okay with things playing out however they will. But ultimately, having your sense of like having your faith and hope, and again, being convinced that you got this, it'll push out. You'll be with your SP, don't worry. Or that desire that you have, whatever it may be, you'll have it already. It's already on its way, and you'll have it. Just trust and believe and you can achieve. You know. Just have a deserving attitude. Because this is about you ultimately anyway. I don't deserve anything less. I deserve the greatest. I deserve the best. And I don't deserve to be treated any less or in any kind of way that I don't like. And that will bring your SP, that will draw your SP to you much, much sooner. So, believe what I say. Believe in yourself and just know that you got this, you know. With that being said, catch you guys later. Peace out.